Does Apple's pricing of its iPad vary directly with the size of its hard drive? Justify your answer. I believe the 16 gig model costs $4.99 and the 32 gig model costs $5.99. So if it varies directly, then you know it's proportionate. So let's think about this. So 16, so we're trying to say that as the hard drive goes up, the costs go up proportionately? Is that true? So there's a couple ways to think of this. So one way to think of it is I went from 16 to 32, which means I doubled. Did I double my cost? Well, 16 over 32, the same as $4.99 to $5.99. Is that true? Well, this is 1/2, and this is not 1/2. So that's one check to say not direct variation. And let's talk about why. Because some of you might say, okay, well, 64 should cost 100 more than, because it looks like every time it doubles, it goes up $100. But let's look at this graphically. So if I map the cost versus the hard drive, I'd have 2 points. I'd have 16 there, and I'd have 32 there. I'd have 48 there, and I'd have 64 there. And the cost goes from $4.99. So that's 500. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so $5.99, $6.99. So we have this point, and we have this point. So the question is, well, if I trace this back, where would this hit? And what would that even mean? And then if I trace it forward, where would it go, and what would that mean? If it stayed linear, which this doesn't look like it did. It's a little better. Well, something to think about here is, we could write an equation for this. Let's try doing that. So we know 2 points, right? So we should be able to find that slope. The slope here is it changes 16 and goes up $100. So the change in y is positive 100 over 16. So it's 100 over 16 is the slope, which can be reduced to 25/4. So for every $25 that goes up, it goes up 4 gigabyte. Or thought of another way, it goes up for every $6.25, it goes up 1 gigabyte. So then if I'm going to go down another 16 gigabytes, I have to go down another $100. So this spot here should be $3.99. So no hard drive, it costs $3.99. What in the world am I paying for? What is this height represent? Well, some of you might come to, oh, well, there's still other stuff. There's the screen, and there's the microchip, and the motherboard, and all that stuff. And yes, that is, one good argument for what costs $3.99, and then the hard drive is just incremental. So if we use this logic to go forward, well, for every 16 it grows, it goes up 100. So the 64 gig should be at $7.99 if this were linear. Well, it turns out it's not. It should be $7.99, but actually it's only $6.99, and some of that has more to do with marketing, right? Is someone actually willing to pay more for that much more of a hard drive? And so it starts to turn a little exponential, actually, for doubling, but I don't think it stays there. But that's how much it should cost. So there's a couple things to think about here. This is not direct variation, even though you say, well, but for every 16, it goes up 100. That seems direct, right? The slope is constant, and that's true. But the only way to make this direct is for the equation to be y equals kx, which means it would need to shift down and cost nothing. So if I had no hard drive, it would cost nothing. Y equals kx. Right? You'll notice it's not y equals kx plus b. There's no y-intercept. The y-intercept is 0. That's the only way to get direct variation for proportionality, In this case now it would be proportional, right? Because for every 16 I go up, I am going up 100. 16 over 32 is equal to I guess that would be 100 to 200, roughly. And that makes sense now. Okay, but this is not that. So therefore, this is not direct variation.